Okay.
Andrea Mono. Andrea.
You have to admit that.
Waiting room. Do we admit?
I don't even know who that is. You want to? You want to see the waiting room? Just Andrea. You want to wait?
Yeah. We'll start letting them in at 5 up.
I like having this. Look at the hour now. It's like, this is like perfect. I think we need our faith thing right above that. I feel like I need to go around and do it. Get it. Do you have a nail?
It might be a challenge, but go for it.
All I need is a hammer.
I got it.
I'm just gonna- What's cool is we can see if it looks.
No. I'm gonna come right on top of it.
To the side? That was weird. Shouldn't it be? I mean, I know. Yeah. Shouldn't
Okay,
it
can I
be?
let go? I'm gonna come down a little bit more. So this is like here. All right, it's right up top. Okay.
It's backwards. But maybe when other people look at us, it's not going backwards.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I hope that doesn't happen during COVID. It will. Hurts. All right, it's 9:55. Dennis McDonald.
We can see. Do you need water?
Yes.
I think I have something. I've got a seltzer water.
I have a seltzer water. What's that?
Said you will feel better
I know.
because I have energy.
Thank you. All right, let's get this going. Let's let in the admit all.
I can't breathe for a second. Now. Good morning.
You gotta
Unmute people.
they're not
Maybe.
working. Maybe they don't want to be.
Andrea, you don't want to be unmuted?
Missy Garlisi,
Morning.
Good
good
morning.
morning. So we're gonna give it a
Good
few
morning.
morning.
Sorry.
Good morning.
Hi, Andrea. We're gonna give it a few more minutes and let some people jump on before we get into it. Hope everyone's doing okay. Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Hi. How's it
Top
going?
of the morning.
Top of the morning. It doesn't feel like the top of the morning.
No, it feels like the bottom.
I don't know, the days seem quite long, but you know,
Yeah, they do.
what we have to do. Every night I look at my watch, I'm like, oh God, it's not even 9 o'clock. I can't go to bed yet. I'll be awake at 3 a.m. if I do.
Oh, no. We got to try to fill our time, right? Leave no blank spaces. Otherwise, you feel like by the end of the day that you haven't accomplished anything.
So true.
And I think that's probably the biggest mind game everybody has, is feeling accomplished at the end of the day.
It's true. We have to stay busy. You know, we have to be,
It is, huh?
you know, I see you guys walking every now and then. I'll see you walk by my window there, and that's good. We got to keep moving. You know, we did break down and we hosted a family burn in the backyard on Saturday. Sister and her kids came over and we went for a walk around the reservoir through
Cool.
the baseball park, you know, just down Thicket
Yeah.
Street. And that was great. And we ended up burning quite a lot of wood that we had. And my nephew was splitting wood. And I mean, that kid, you know, almost 15 years old, he didn't want to stop. And he was to the point where he was getting sloppy. And we said to him, you have to stop. You're going to hurt yourself, you know?
He's just getting all his frustrations out.
Yeah.
Yep, we appreciated it a lot. He-
Hello, Dennis.
Hey, good morning. I think I got this thing figured out now.
There you go.
Hi, Dennis.
So we're gonna, it's exactly 10 o'clock. We'll give it another minute or two before we get into it. But me and Lisa did 3 Facebook Live open houses, I guess you could say, virtual open houses over the weekend. And we got a pretty good outline of how you guys could kind of copy that if you need, because we're not going to be doing any open houses except virtuals right now, if that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope you're going to be taking some notes because we got a lot of good information to share with you guys.
Did anybody see any of the open houses that we did?
I did not.
I didn't.
I'll be right back. I have to get some.
Yeah, so we had over 1,000 people on Saturday visit 2 open houses.
Wow, that's great.
Isn't
that
it?
crazy? You could never host that many people in an open house.
I know. That'd be a lot of hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
Right?
a lot of booties.
Maybe just stealing the toilet paper. And so it's
Yeah,
pretty
that makes
amazing.
sense.
It's like, I'm thinking to myself, how did we never do this? We could have done this and had our open house, you know,
Yeah.
have a FaceTime, even a FaceTime video during it.
Yeah, for
Now
sure.
here we are. We'll be, have to pivot and just adjust. I think that's
Yeah.
like the most important thing. No more excuses. Instead, the adjustments we have to make are most important.
Hello, Margaret.
Hey, Flora.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Margaret.
Morning. I'm not sure if can you.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Sal.
Sal, I haven't seen you in ages.
We still don't see Sal.
I know.
We'll have you on the call, though, Sal.
Now we know how many people are in their pajamas, all those people that we can't see.
There you go.
Really in my pajamas. I go out of the house like this.
How's everybody doing?
Good, good. How about you, Alicia?
Good, good. Getting a little stir crazy, but I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm the type of, I'm sure like most, I'm the type of person I like to be out and interacting and like
Hi,
shaking
Linda.
hands and giving hugs. And so this has been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
We're deciding to have faith instead of fear. So,
I love that. I love
Um,
that.
but looks like a lot of people are joining in. We got 13 so far, and it's just 10:02. So if you want to get right into it, you want to do that?
Sure, I
So-
think so.
Why don't we start, guys, by just saying hello. We're Rick and the R&L Home Team. I'm Rick, and that's Lisa. And we did 3 virtual open houses this weekend with, I think, combined views over 1,200
Wow.
views.
I haven't even checked this morning.
We haven't checked this morning. That was yesterday afternoon. And yesterday, we actually had people calling and texting us during the virtual open house, asking for floor plans, and there's just a ton of excitement on our listing on Frank Road. It's probably going to go into agreement today because of the open house.
We do already have one offer.
We do already have one offer. So anyways, if you have a pen, I'd like you to write a few things down. But before we get into it, Lisa, why don't you just give them an overview of like, what did we do? How do we set this up? You know, where did we do it? What was our intentions?
Well, obviously, the intention was to get to as many people as possible so they can see the house. And we all know that they can go on MLS and their realtor can, send it to them, or they can go to Zillow. But it was just to give the most exposure, and also your clients, letting them know you're stepping out of the box. You're not just doing business as usual. We have to pivot. Things are not the same. So with their permission, 2 of the homeowners, actually one was completely empty, so that was fine. One had one gentleman in it. He just took time to leave, and the other one had a family. So we, each one of those, we adapted a little bit differently. But we put it on Facebook, both of our Facebooks. Basically, that was kind of how we didn't expose it probably as well as we could have, but Facebook, our personal page and our business page, and then did a Facebook Live. We were going to do Zoom, but found that Zoom was a little more difficult for people to actually access, and we would have had to, I don't think we could have done that.
Facebook Live was easier, and it was the first time we'd ever done it. So I'm sure we kind of sucked at much of it, but it was super effective. And each time we did one, we did it better the next time. So if you guys are, fearful of doing it, just keep in mind, you're going to be just fine. You got to have faith, and you'll get better at the next one.
And your clients are so willing, and they're happy that you're doing it, which is funny. And we definitely didn't stay completely on the home the whole time. We did have a little fun with it.
Yeah, we had
and then
some
we
laughs.
had, we had to tell them, hey, when we open your fridge, we said, I get, maybe there's beer in here. And we open, we go, yeah, this is gonna be a great open house. So you have to make it a little fun, because it's like TV, right? It's like, people are not gonna stay engaged in it as well. And trying to get people to interact, I think, is probably the most important thing. Getting them to ask questions, and we need to get better at that. We stayed on for a shorter period of time than what we will do in the future, I think.
Yeah. So it was a learning experience for us, but we're really glad we did it. Our sellers are glad we did it. And you know what? We can't really do open houses, traditional open houses anymore, according to the governor, until this is all over. So if you have a listing that you need to have an open house or get exposure, this is going to be a great way to do it. You just can't let the public in. And you can do private showings. So you promote the listing through the live open house, and then encourage a private appointment with 24-hour notice, and obviously take extra safety precautions during that showing. So if you're going to follow along the outline of today's webinar, I put 3 benefits of doing a Facebook Live video. I'm going to give you 5 content ideas. We're going to give you 7 things to do before you go live, 6 things to do during going live, and 5 things to do after you go live. And we figured these out. We did some research, just, Googled it and fumbled and did it. And we realized that this is kind of really some good advice. And this is the advice we're taking moving forward. So the benefit benefit of going live is free reach. I mean, we got over 1,200 people and probably up to 1,500 now. 3 listings. That's like 500 people coming into your open house. That's incredible exposure. Don't get me wrong, many of them were realtors, but I don't care. They have buyers, right? Realtors have buyers. The second thing is you're going to overcome your fear. Actually, I should say the third thing is when you focus on the community and not on you. Like one of my fears was, oh, I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to say something stupid. Me, me, me. Well, when you shift that and you start to think about the community you're serving, that goes away. So just focus on your community and you will overcome your fear. And guess what will happen? You're going to get better. And we saw that in just 3 videos. So I hope you can understand the benefits of doing this and incorporate it into your schedule. So there's a ton of ideas. I just put 5 down. Obviously, having an open house, a virtual open house, is a good reason to go live. But you know what else is really kind of popular, and you might see it on HGTV, but go behind the scenes. Maybe show some before and after pictures of photography, like before they staged it and after they staged it. Or maybe go through the house and pull out a really cool feature under the cabinet, like, hey, here's a tray that pulls out the basket, like a really cool feature.
Yeah,
So
spices, like a cool spice rack or any sort of thing. You can focus on those. A great granite countertop. Look at the color of this. You can really,
Yeah.
And everything's about focusing on that, focusing on the house. And so it takes it away from you. So it makes it easier.
And all we did was we had our cell phone and we used this little selfie stick that I got at the video class in Norwell. I went online and ordered it right away. It's cost like $19. And this is a handheld, and I just walked around and we looked at each other and went, doing selfies and looking at all the features of the property. So this little thing is all we used all weekend. And it was really effective. My new best friend.
I'm out.
So, another second content idea is what it takes to get from a contract to a closing. Maybe do, a lot of people are already doing these sneak peeks, coming soon. Do a Facebook Live from your coming soon listing. Really great idea. And if you have enough permission from some of the parties involved, maybe do a Facebook Live at the home inspection, just outside for like a couple of minutes. Hey, I'm here doing a home inspection. We have a pending contract. You can come up with all sorts of creative ideas for content using Facebook Live. The other cool thing that we didn't do this yet, but I plan on it, and that is to mount our phone on the car, like inside the dashboard, looking forward, and do a neighborhood tour. Margaret, drive around Southie. You know Southie, right? Hey, you thinking about buying a place in Southie? Come, this is the, just spotlight and talk about the neighborhood that you know and love. And what I've heard is that gets a tremendous amount of traction online. People share it, and then you become the neighborhood expert. So that's definitely something that we're going to be doing. And so here you are, you're at your virtual open house, right? There's a couple of things you need to do. I wrote down 7 things you should do, and believe me, we learned the hard way. But promote it. Promote what you're doing. Instead of just showing up and say, hey, we're live, send some promotion. Do an email, make an announcement to a local group page, run a Facebook ad, text some of your key influencers or vendors, blast it on social media. Just promote that you're going to be at 123 Main Street Saturday from 12 to 1, Facebook Live. And we did that for 30 Frank Street. We told people Saturday where we were going to be Sunday, and Sunday was awesome.
Yeah.
Very interactive.
We were actually late.
We were late,
We were
and
late on showing up.
people were texting us, hey, I'm on Facebook and you're not. It's 5 after 12. Where are you?
We also had a Zoom meeting. We had a Zoom, but we still had Zoom up, which we didn't use, and somebody else was like, "I'm here. I'm waiting. I'm on Zoom. Where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, can you go to our?" The really good part about that is we had everybody go to R&L Home Team or Realtors for Life Facebook page. So they went to the Facebook page in order to see the video because it had ended at that point.
Yeah.
So, but they were like, "I'm here for the virtual tour. Where is it?" So then when she called, we got her name, we got her email, we got all her information. We sent her to our page. She watched from our page, and so you're bringing traction to your page. You're getting people to your page that way as well.
Yeah, we have a lot more likes.
I mean, Zoom would be great. It just didn't work for us. I think it would. I don't know. It's just a little more complicated for people to get into.
I haven't ruled it out. It's great for these types of events, but imagine this type of meeting at one of your listings. You would have to take your laptop and turn it around and walk around,
Yeah.
which is fine. You can do that. But it would require people to sign in. Little bit, one extra step or two, just a little. You lose them. Yeah. So Facebook Live for us just seemed to be very, very easy and seamless.
And I feel like people love the fact that when you're doing this virtual and you do see them on your Facebook, you can say, like, "Hey, Holly, hey, Melissa, how's everything going?" Some people really love that, and they're like, "Wow, they're talking to me." I mean, it becomes this interactive thing, and I think that we could do a better job with that because we didn't need to walk around the house the entire time. We could have sat there and kind of waited for more of the questions to come in and either give it to them or walk around the house again. But I feel like next time we will be more interactive with the people while they're on the phone.
And that was we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Sorry.
Back to before, there's a couple more things. Think of a great headline. So if you're going to promote the open house, I mean, for us, we just did virtual open house, 34 Regatta Road. In hindsight, I wish I had a better headline. So think of a really good headline or a wow factor to get people to engage. Make sure you have a Wi-Fi connection. Make sure your battery is fully charged.
Yeah, make sure you ask the homeowner.
Yep.
We always do that when we take a listing. We ask for the Wi-Fi so that we know that it's going in.
And if you turn on, if you turn your phone on Do Not Disturb, it will not ring and you receive text like we would. It was kind of disruptive. Our phones were kind of ringing a lot.
"Mom, can you bring some chocolate home?"
Yeah. We're in the middle of a live video. Hold
We're
on.
like, "Come on, why did you answer me?"
And even though we used this, I would probably use a tripod or something a little more stable. This is somewhat more stable than my hand, but it's important to get some stability in your video. So you're there now, right? You're at your open house. You're ready to go. The first thing you want to do, guys, is introduce yourself and just make sure the whole world knows who you are. Do it quickly, but make sure you introduce yourself. A lot of people, I think, can forget that. And make sure you ask them to stay involved. "Hey, listen, I want you to stay to the end. We got some really cool features to show you about this house. You're going to love it." Kind of set it up a little bit. Ask them to follow you and maybe even like your page. Hey, make sure you like our page. You can check out all of our live videos. We've got 2 more coming up next week. So ask them in the start, in the middle, and in the end.
I'm sorry, someone's asking to get into the Zoom meeting. I'm not sure.
So,
Lisa, we can't hear you.
Somebody's asking to come into the meeting, and I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm on my phone here.
Oh,
I'm trying to figure out how to get them in here. I don't know who it is. It might be someone outside
send
of
the
Keller
ID.
Williams.
Yeah, there's an email.
I'm
There's
sorry.
someone outside of KW. Engage your viewers. So, we were trying to make it fun. I went outside in the back of 34 Regatta and showed them the hot tub and made some funny comments. So try to stay engaging. You want to stay live for 15 to 20 minutes minimum, because I thought it should be quicker, but I realized some people are coming on at the 18th minute and say, "Wait, I just got here. Please don't end." So if you're going to do a live open house on Facebook, plan on at least 20 minutes, and I think you're going to be okay, because people are going to log in. They get notified when they're driving, but when they'll pull over, they'll try to
I think.
pull in. She says the whole hour. I think that's a little long,
I
but
know, because people are waiting, they said, you're gonna be there from 12 to 1.
Yep.
And if you know, they want to see the tour, they want to ask her questions, because we had people that said, I missed it. So I think if we stayed on, and we're gonna be there for the hour anyway, it's kind of hard, you might have to fill your time with some information, or just, I don't know, put on some music.
so when you're there to end it, you want to have a call to action. And this is something that, again, we didn't do this, but we're going to on our next one. We have a piece of paper that says, it's two-sided, 47 ways to sell your home faster. And if you can end your live stream with a call to action, hey, make sure you email the R&L Home Team and we'll send you over 47 ways to sell your home faster. Give them a hook, something to re-engage after this live stream, kind of a big deal. Okay, so you're all done shooting. You promoted the open house. What do you do afterwards? The first thing you got to do is download the video. In fact, when it ends, it's going to ask you to download it, save it, or share it. If you don't do anything, you will probably lose it, and you won't be able to take advantage of what you should be doing after the live stream. So you want to download it right away, and I shared it right away on my personal page. So we did it from the R&L business page, and then we both shared it on our personal pages, because actually there's a few more people on both. And that's why we got so much engagement. Okay, so definitely download it and share it.
And don't be, you know, I mean, it's embarrassing. Some things are really silly. You say silly things because there's a lot of time, and there's no one really engaging with you. So it feels a little strange. It's kind of, you know.
You got to get over it.
But you have to get over it, because you're doing it for a purpose, and just stay on your purpose. Like this, I'm here to sell this house, you know. And so I think you get over that uncomfortableness.
Yeah. You also want to answer any unanswered questions. We were answering questions during the live stream, which I thought was cool. Some lady called in from like Newton, and she goes, oh my God, I missed the video. Can you send me the floor plans? And Lisa was like, well, how did you hear about it? She's like, I just saw it online. Yeah. And so people are sharing it. And that's why it goes back to the very first thing I said, is that, you know, the exposure you get. One of the benefits of doing this is unbelievable exposure that you can't even quantify.
I have a question, Rick.
Yeah,
how do I share it with the buyer since it's gone?
No, it's not gone. It's you.
Well,
save
no,
it
it's
and
not
download
live.
it.
Yes,
like yours, or like the 1 hour open house?
yours.
So,
Yours.
It's on either, I don't think it's on my, I didn't put it on my personal one yet, but yesterday's, I put it on R&L Home Team. So R&L Home Team, the
Okay.
Realtors for Life. And if you want, you can download it from there or
Yeah.
share it from there.
Okay.
It's out there. Yeah.
So we had an agent call, and she said, hi, I'm wondering about this house. And I said, well, how'd you hear about it? And she said, my clients were watching it.
Yeah.
My buyers called me and told me about it. So I thought that was like really cool, because we reached somebody who has an agent. The agent called us and said that that's where they saw it. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. Kind of
Can you
reached
attach that to the MLS? I
No,
wonder. No.
I don't think you can.
Mm.
Nope. If you can, it's news to me. I don't believe you can. Good
Yeah,
question.
I don't think we'd be able to, because they prohibit us from advertising ourselves. It's about.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Yes, you're right.
So one of the things I think was really great too, start outside of the house. Start outside, if you can talk a little bit about the neighborhood, and then walk up to the door, you know, and slowly just walk in like as if they were there.
We did that for every tour this weekend. We started outside and walked in, and then, you know, we would kind of engage back and forth. And then one time I gave her the handheld, and she went
once. You
upstairs.
gave it to me once.
I just let her use it once. Because I hate looking at myself.
You're both a natural. You're both
so-
natural.
That's
You
the
want
rock
to
star.
advertise this video after you download it. Advertise it on social media. You're going to get more leads. Share it on YouTube, on your website. And
Now YouTube would be a great place
Yeah.
to put that.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe name it something like social distancing, you know, people are like Googling that all the time,
Yeah.
right? So open houses with social distancing. So you put little hashtags in there, then maybe they're going to come up with your name, your video. So you got to get creative.
Yeah. And the last thing, guys, after you shoot this, the fifth thing is, you know, basically rinse and repeat, which basically means do it again and, you know, have a plan and some consistency in that plan. This should be part of your new listing broker marketing repertoire, right? We're going to do virtual open houses. And even when all this stuff lifts
I
and
know.
we get back to normal,
Mhm.
I feel like this is going to be the new normal. Why not do a 1 hour open house? It was 30 minutes of video time and we had 1,000 views. I mean, that's incredible exposure and nobody was there. So this is amazing. Now it's a different kind of engagement though, right? I mean, you don't have that handshake, that immediate feedback. It's going to require a lot of post video work.
But think about how many more people you're getting in, how much less time you're spending at a house. You don't have any open house signs, so you don't have to drag those.
What did I say after each open house? I'm like, it
You could
was
bring,
the
could you
fastest
bring
hour
a
ever.
sign to the open house just to have the open house? No, probably
You
wouldn't.
could put it out front if you, but you know, you don't want people coming in.
No, I
So,
know.
Yeah.
When that lifts, that, you know, when this whole thing lifts, then
Yeah.
then yes. But right now,
Right,
they're
right,
frowning on opens. But
right.
can
So-
anyone verify, Alicia, it's okay to do a private showing, right?
So what they're saying is that, and there's a lot of blurred lines here, so I
Yeah.
understand why it's so confusing, because like I'm trying to read between all these lines and what the mayor's saying and the governor's saying, and it's confusing. But basically what it is they're strongly suggesting to not have open houses, to do these virtual tours instead, and to do virtual private showings if possible, especially if the property is occupied, just for everybody's safety to limit the exposure. However, if the seller is okay with it, you take all the right precautions prior to doing a private one-on-one showing, then that's okay. But they're saying to just make sure that you're doing everything you possibly can to make sure you're protecting yourself, the sellers, and the buyers. You know, having those hand wipes, having gloves available, getting there early, opening the door, opening all the doors in the house so there's less things that people have to touch.
Opening windows.
Yeah, exactly. Turning on all the lights, and then at the end, go in with your gloves, turn off all the lights, close all the doors, wipe everything down again, and lock up the door. A lot of people are even, like, agents are not even going into the property with the buyers, so that they can like just stand back and keep
I love that.
distance.
Go
Yeah.
on in. Let me know what you think.
Well,
And then they can email you or call you after and ask you any questions that they have, and you could even do a Zoom call like this and answer any questions. The thing with putting an open house sign outside is you kind of set yourself up for anybody that might be
Random.
upset right now
Tire
with the
kickers.
fact. Yeah, like so we've seen some posts on Facebook of people taking pictures of realtor signs and posting it and saying negative things as far as like hosting open houses. So if that is something you do want to do, I would strongly recommend looking into getting a rider that says virtual.
Yeah. it's a good
It is
idea.
something that they're offering now. I know it's another expense and we're trying to cut expenses. So if that's something that you're not interested in doing, then maybe just don't put the sign up outside. Just kind of limit yourself from having any negative exposure on social media, because you're working so hard to make it virtual and take all these right steps, right? So don't let anyone get in your way of that.
Mhm.
Has anyone on this call done a Facebook Live video they can share? No?
I have in the past, but it's not recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would encourage you to do it. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun,
yeah.
and we got over the fear really quickly. And honestly, we were just focusing on doing a good job for our clients. We wanted to get some exposure. This guy wants to sell, and nobody was looking at it. So we're like, we have to do this.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you know, if you take yourself out of the equation, like I did, I quickly got over the fear, and it was actually kind of fun.
I suggest posting all of your Facebook lives too, as far as your open houses on our group page. So the Market Center 735, that way
Yeah.
other agents in our office know about it. And, you know, then afterwards, posting successes on
Yeah.
the group page.
We'll-
Because
We'll do that
the
right
more
after this
that
call.
other agents see that, you know, we're out there and people are doing this, or implementing these new changes and features to the business, they're going to want to, you know, reach out and ask, like, how did that work? What could I do differently? I actually tried to do it and it didn't work. What did I do wrong? You know,
Yeah.
so we all really have to kind of come together in this time and just make sure that we're sharing these wins and making sure that everybody's growing from this.
And I don't know if you shared this with everybody, Alicia, but we got this Papasan
Not yet.
attachment, 12 pages, guys. I'm sure the whole office will eventually get this. And it's the Papasan Properties Group out of Austin, Texas, I believe, Jay Papasan's wife.
Yeah.
Just a really great instruction manual on how to do hosting virtual open houses on Facebook. And it's very KW specific. It's kind of cool.
And it uses
Yeah.
commands. There's a lot of things in there using commands with it. So, you know, that's something to look at.
I'll share that out after today's call. I didn't want to do it prior because I wanted to give you guys a chance to read through it and kind of see if it was something that would align well with today's call. Didn't want to get in the way.
I think, you know, we can watch a few more like Facebook Lives. There are some people who are really
Yeah.
good at doing them. And I think that we both need to, you know, obviously here we go. It's something new. Or if we don't do these things, we're just going to make excuses instead of adjustments.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you make excuses, you can't be amazing. You have to adjust. So I think that this is a time of adjustment and growth, and we have tons of time to do that. We have a
So you
lot,
said you had 3 virtual open houses this weekend.
right.
Was that 3 separate properties or one
Yeah.
property? 3
Three.
separate
Three
properties.
separate properties.
We have one offer on the table.
One offer on the table. And did they see it after the virtual? Did you schedule?
They made the offer before the virtual tour because we do have something in that listing that says to please make an offer prior, and plus we have to vet the pre-approval, make sure that they have a job. We actually have a piece of paper here for the lender. And this basically it says a pre-approval from your company is being considered for the purchase of this listing. This is put as an attachment, and it says, have you completed the credit check? Have they verified with pay stubs? So this is for basically the lender to fill out, or questions we can ask the lender. And that way we know whether that person is actually even still has a job. Why are we going to bring them in if,
Right.
you know, they're not serious? They can't really purchase the home. And right now, a lot of people don't have jobs, and I don't think that they'll qualify. And I think going forward, that's going to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
You know?
They I think Margaret asked that. They were the buyers were with another realtor, and they submitted an offer with a pre-approval letter, which proved to us that they were very serious, and we were able to make get the sellers to agree to have them come in alone right before the virtual open house with their realtor.
We're
So
hoping they'll adjust the price up.
they're probably going to increase the offer. And then we did the virtual open. I think we're going back today.
We are going back today because we do have some other people who also submitted their pre-approvals in order to get in. So we have a 1-hour window for private appointments for those buyers.
No more than one party at a time. And
So
So you're
probably
saying
stay
to
outside.
submit the pre-approval first?
And an offer
get
if
in.
possible.
Offer,
In
you
and
can
off,
get-
with an offer.
Yeah, with an offer would be best. And, you know,
Right.
in the remarks, basically saying that they need to see the property.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be accepted, but there has to be some skin in the game there, just looking like they're real.
Now,
haven't-
is Friday still the deadline on that property? It is, okay.
Unless they take an offer ahead of time, so we did reserve the right to give our clients may decide to take an offer early. We just don't know yet. But we also had an offer accepted. We had a buyer who did the same thing on a house in like Middleborough. we wrote the offer for that buyer. It had the same requirements that it had to be submitted before they could go in. So we had done that. We did that before we even did.
We
our
stole
first-
the idea, basically.
we did. We R&D anywhere. It
Yeah.
looks
There's a
good.
question on that then. So are you requiring the offer and the pre-approval before the showing for occupied and unoccupied or just occupied?
Just occupied.
Well, yeah, it says it's for both, but I'd prefer to have a pre-approval in hand for any one of these, because we have to go there. So, you know, I mean, unless there's a pre-approval, I don't really want to show the house at all.
Right.
Right, of course.
Mhm.
And updated, not 3 months ago, or
Right.
even,
Yeah.
or even 3 weeks ago.
So we're doing a lot of vetting and just, especially with these people on Frank, they have young kids and they're just really kind of freaked out about people coming in their house. So we're
Yeah.
really trying to manage that, and they're up to now, I think they're really happy with the way things are going and the creativity that we've implemented. They've even said to us, wow, we're so glad we get some realtors that are trying to stay ahead of the curve.
I said, I'm so lucky you let us use you as guinea pigs.
Yeah.
I mean, we're upfront, we're like, this is something new. And we're telling all of our clients that. And they think, you know, as realtors, we're dead in the water right now. They think that we have nothing to do. And
Right.
so when we tell them that we have creative solutions for them, they're so happy.
Mhm.
They're like, wow, I thought, you know, nobody's selling, no one's buying. Well, we have somebody who needs a house in Braintree up to 550, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and I need it immediately, and this is
Yeah.
real.
ASAP.
So we need that as soon as possible. And so these people are going to be homeless if they don't have somewhere to go. And they don't want to sign a lease with a rental for another year. And they're pre-approved and ready to go. So
And 2 P&S is being signed today. So like, there's activity out there. We just need to learn how to act with, you know, within the new strange world we live in. But the need to buy and sell is ever present. And I mean, if you're not busy, you still can be busy. You just got to get out there and let people know that you know how to operate within these confines.
Mhm.
have your analysis online. You can email that to people. You can have them FaceTime and walk you through their house, give them tips on staging like that. I know a stager, she's doing that with people. I met with her, Saturday or something. We were talking from a distance, but she said she's doing the same thing. She's doing virtual tours with the phone and telling people what to do and what, you know, how to change the way the house looks. So
Mhm.
I got an appraiser going out to a property tomorrow without me. Just going to send him over there.
Yeah.
You know, so business is still being conducted. You just got to pivot. And if you don't have the business, this is the best time to be calling your database and
Mhm.
not even your database, just everybody you know, everybody who's in your phone. Just scroll through it and start with the Z's and just call everybody. Hey, how are you, man? I'm just checking in. It's kind of a weird world we live in now, huh? Don't even talk about real estate.
Right.
They will bring it up. And just the fact that you care is going to be remembered
Mhm.
in about a month or 2.
And just imagine, people don't have anything to do. They can go to their mailbox. So send them a note. They get something in the mail. It's going to mean so much. So just handwritten thank you notes or handwritten, hi, how are you? You know, maybe last year you sold somebody a house. If it's the anniversary, you know, hey, remember last year we sold your house, or around this time. Anything you can write. And just a little something will be so appreciated. Don't you love getting something in the mail? I mean, right now, you're really going to take the time to pause and think about it and read it. Before, life was so fast. You'd go, oh, that's great, that's nice, and put it down. And it gets in there with the junk mail. Now it's going to be like, I'm putting that on the mantle. That was awesome. So I feel like that's a really special touch.
Mhm.
Hello, Bobby.
Hey, Bob.
Hello, hello. Sorry there, but I'm running there. I don't care. I'm in my underwear, so that's why I'm not showing my real face.
Thank you.
Show us, Bob.
We're not
We all
on
appreciate
video.
that, Bob. Thanks.
Well, Dennis, you know, he's like Winnie the Pooh right now, right?
Just a shirt on, a red sweater.
Rick too.
So guys,
Yeah.
sorry,
I can't stand up.
Yeah, I came in late. So you just talking about all your strategies for doing virtual and how you get this thing done, because I did four open houses yesterday and got lots of feedback.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's good for you. Bob, this is recorded, by the way, so yes. But we did 3 over the weekend and had over approximately 1,500 views.
Yeah. So if it would be helpful just to share just a little snippet of what happened with
Oh,
us.
please
Love
do,
it.
yeah.
Because I had
So-
a hard time. I tried to get into your Zoom on Friday, so
Yeah.
I'd like to hear how that went.
Well, I could just quickly tell you. So there's a couple things. We're wrestling with the same thing everybody else did. Let me just talk about the Friday Zoom because that was interesting. What we're doing is we're doing a virtual tour. In cases where we have floor plans and photos, we've actually put them into a slide deck with some outside shots, the neighborhood, the plot plan, and walk people through as close as we could to a real actual showing, or I would walk through the house and answer questions. I did that. What we found is that while it was helpful, without having a video, actually, even without having a video or a kind of just a walkthrough, we're still missing something.
Yeah.
And I thought we could do without it, but that turns out to be the case. So I went back to all our properties yesterday and just walkthrough videos. A seller could do it for you, but that video is essential. That was we found. What I found that was so interesting, and I didn't realize it, when I held there and they came on, I had just a couple. I had a buyer on, and turns out my seller decided to get on and listen.
Yeah.
And so what happened is here I am talking to and I said, oh shit, what's going on here? What do we do? So what I did was I'm directing everything to the buyer, and she's probably saying, gee, well, who's this other person? I disclosed it. I said, gee, just for instance, the seller's on. And I said, in times like this, of full transparency, full disclosure, I'm going to include the seller. Any questions you have, please raise them, and my seller will answer them. Now, that's tricky a little bit. However, as long as you're on it together and correct it, for instance, first thing the buyer said, well, is the fireplace working? Whoop, I go, the seller went right away, yes. And I said, well, let me just clarify that if I could. They have used it, but what we need to say, you need to have it checked out by a home inspector, by a home inspector and so forth. But I was able to, I had most of the answers, so it was very interactive. But having a seller on was really interesting, and it went extremely well.
Good for you, Bob. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that came out of that. And the other thing that has that seems to be working is the whole notion of pre-home inspections. Getting a home inspection by the seller, again, full transparency. Get it now, especially when we can't. There's so many unknowns. The more we can share with a prospective buyer virtually is the better. Then you can filter them out, and then you got to figure out ultimately how you do the showing.
What a great idea. And then we can also, Bob, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we can just do the flip on that. So you need to do a pre-home inspection, and don't worry about your smoke inspection. The buyer is going to take care of that part.
Yeah.
So that could be the flip for somebody. There's no longer, this is not your responsibility, at least for now. You don't have to do the smoke inspection, but a pre-home inspection would be advisable. So that would be kind of a good flip.
Yep. So that's the specific. So thanks for asking about that, Lisa, because that was that was good. I just think this whole idea of connecting in with the seller, done appropriately, it works. So it was great, and there's some interest there. So that's one. But the other part of it was we did 4. I went in and posted in MLS for 4 listings, 4 open house. So there were 4 balloons, and I understand they're suspended, not allowed. But what I did was we scheduled it, and then I put in the notes in there. Showings are by appointment only between these hours, 1 at a time.
Yeah.
So I covered myself, I think, at least nobody picked me up, but I covered myself by doing that. And so then what was interesting is we had 4 open houses, different price points. We had a $1.25 million house in Newton. We had a $400,000 house in Whitman. We had a $450 house in Weymouth, and we had a $275,000 condo in Lynn, up in the Nahant area. So it had a very wide range. They all had the same instructions. Interesting, same instructions on how to get in. The results were interesting. So what do you think happened with results? Where do we get most of the activity?
$400, 400,000, Whitman.
Nope.
Million.
We got the Newton one. I had 5 showings.
Wow.
The one in Whitman had 2. The one in Nahant had 1, and the one in
Weymouth.
Weymouth had 1. This is kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
I can't explain at the moment the whys. There's lots of reasons. Could be price point. By the way, 2 of these 4, because when I think it was price, I got price reductions this morning.
Ooh.
Because
that's cool.
I get in with the data, and I said, this is what happened. And I've been pushing it, and they've been kind of pushing back, so I get 2 price reductions. So the data, just a comparison, was really helpful.
Yeah.
And so this follow-up. So there is opportunity here in this whole virtual showing, and I believe that we're going to get to the point where we'll be able to put houses under agreement with a contingency, but people put them under agreement without ever stepping foot inside if we can provide them all the information they want, and then there'll be a verification.
Mhm.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the most important part of what you just said, Bob, is if we provide them with all the information they need to make a buying decision. And that's key. The
Correct.
video, the answers to all the questions, floor plans, as much, I mean, we have to overthink data right now.
Yeah.
And collect so much data. And then only then will they be able to,
And
I think,
present
comfortably
it
make an offer.
and present it in the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all impressive because this could be overwhelming. You've got videos and you got floor plans, you get this and that. So you have to organize it in a way that can be done. And that's why, so Zoom is great, but then, do you handle it? That's the whole idea of it. Boy, you can provide anything else. You can provide them with, you can go in there, and if it's your buyer you're talking with here, you can do some market analysis. You can pull up MLS. You can show them alternatives. You can show them the comps. This is really powerful, and it's a real opportunity to connect with people, and doing it virtually now because they're at home anyways is an opportunity. This is going to change. I think this is going to change the industry.
I couldn't agree more. Melissa, did you have a question? You raised your
I
hand.
do have a question. My photographer, who I've been with forever, doesn't offer a floor plan anymore. He used to. He doesn't any longer. So, question to the group: are you doing your own floor plans? And if so, what are you using to create them?
Yeah.
Our photographer is amazing, and he offers floor plans, Matterport, everything. And if you want his name and number, we'll text it to you. He's
Okay, that'd be
right here
great.
in Weymouth, very
Thank
cheap, and I almost hate to give you his number. I don't want to share him.
I won't share them with you.
Somebody who has just floor plans if you had,
Just you and me, Rick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to say something about inspections as well. Here's something else that happened. So we had some buyers who put an offer in on a house, got accepted, they went through the inspection, they lost their job, and they had to back out of the purchase of that property. So another buyer came in and said, could you share the inspection report with us? So we said, we can do that for a fee. So we could get our clients' money back. So we did do that for a fee. So think about that. If your clients had to back out of a deal and then another deal comes through, you can get that money back for them, at least partially.
Yeah,
And that new buyer can use that one. Or maybe you're the second buyer, that something that went back on the market. Convince your buyer maybe to say, let's purchase the old inspection. We can take a look through that for maybe half the price, and nobody has to go back in for another inspection. So I think that's just a great little tip, and that worked well for our people that got to get some money back after having to back out because they lost their job.
Well, that's an example of what you said earlier, creative solutions. And we all need to adapt creative solutions if we're going to survive.
Yeah. Hey, Lisa, I did that on property. I was representing a seller last week. We had a home inspection. It fell apart. I said the only way that, I said I represented the seller, said to the buyer, only way you can get out of it, I want the home inspection. They sent the whole home inspection. That provided me with the insight I needed to know what the issues were. There was nothing major. It was just it was 70 pages, all kinds of pictures with arrows and it. So I used it for the next buyer. I didn't think, at the moment, it was pretty high end. It didn't even occur to me. I was representing the seller, so I didn't need to try to sell it, but good idea about selling it. But having that home inspection can be so valuable, and it
I love that
meant the
pre-home
next deal.
inspection flip-flop for the smoke inspection. I'm thinking that's a good way of telling your clients, well, listen, you know what, this can be an advantage for you. You don't have to have them in the house. Let's do the pre-inspection. That will help to prevent any issues with them coming and hanging around your house and having another inspector in, and I don't know. I think that's a great one.
Yeah.
So
How are you guys finding it out there? Are you getting out of the house? Are you having any conversations? Are you working with any buyers or sellers?
I have a couple of buyers. Did a showing where the list agent didn't go in. We were able to go in. It wasn't the property for us, but.
Right.
Had a backup offer end up getting accepted because another buyer's deal fell through due to financing.
Yeah.
So we just had the home inspection Saturday, actually.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're hoping to go with
Melissa?
DNS this week.
So I have sellers who have a pretty desirable, they want to sell in a Braintree neighborhood. It's vacant. They want to stage it, and it's questionable as to whether or not the stager is actually going to do the work. They've already had the consult, but now it's a matter of, do they want to, will the stager actually, come to the house and put the furniture in? What kind of a risk is that for the stager, there's crew? So I've encouraged them to try to work through that. And of course, we're having conversations back and forth about, what are the advantages to going on the market right now? Clearly, not a lot of inventory. Disadvantages, are you shortchanging yourself because you're not having as many buyers through? The virtual format kind of solves that. And the truly motivated buyers are coming to the surface, and ones who you want to work with anyway. So you end up just having all the serious out there and all the tire kickers just evaporate. And that's a market in which I love to operate personally.
I want to respond to that, but I know Lisa has a question.
well, I have 2 buyers looking in Braintree, and you may not need to stage anything at all.
What's the price point?
Okay, I'm close to 7, like
Okay.
around 680, 720. We're
Okay.
right around
Okay.
there.
It might be too high for, one of them I'm not exactly.
So regarding your seller's decision to list now or not, and I think Bob Gill would agree with me, is you have to have a great plan with safety first, and it has to be communicated extensively. And then I think you can be okay in this market. And that's what's happening with Frank. We've had so many conversations, and actually there was it was so detailed and almost confusing that, we had to kind of recap and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, we said this thing and this happened. So we were having 2 or 3 conversations a day about the plan, and they want to sell. So if your motivation is high and you want to sell, don't let this thing stop you, because the demand is still there. You just need a plan, and you need to communicate it effectively.
That's true. Their greatest concern, they're both very analytical. Their siblings, their elderly parents have passed on, and the house has been vacant for some time, and the timing for them isn't all that great. They're very analytical, and at the end of the day, their greatest concern is that because the job market is so volatile, something that they commit to now, is it going to be able to come to fruition in 3 to 6 weeks with such a change in the economic environment? So I can't do anything to solve that problem for them. Lenders are only going to share so much information. If someone's in a service-oriented business type of employment, then what does that do to their qualification? We don't really know at this point.
I think if I could just say, one of the biggest challenges for us right now is pricing. I wouldn't want to take an overpriced listing in this market. So
Yeah.
you gotta convince your sellers, be aggressive, and good things can happen.
I also think if you think about the trends now, we're not going to drop off completely in price, but we are going to decrease probably. 6
Right.
months down the road, we have no idea, because that's when the people may or may not go back to work. But right now is the best time, I believe, to be on the market. But asking our clients, what is the perfect scenario for you? When is the perfect time for you to sell? Is it now? Well, I would say, yes, for all the right reasons. We know it's not going to go down $100,000, but
Right.
we don't know in November or December. I mean, these houses could drop because people can't afford them. It's not going to be, it's just, people are just not going to have steady jobs or
Firepool will
the ability to
retract.
pay. And the rates, if the rates start to go up, the houses are going to start decreasing in price. For every
One for the
1%,
savings.
for every 1% of increase in rates, it's a 10% decrease in the price of the home. So that's a lot. That can be a huge change. So I think now is a good time.
Hey,
I
Missy,
think
Missy,
so.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If I could just add one thing, I know we're coming to the end of the time. I think also that there's never been a more important time to give great counsel to your sellers after they've accepted an offer. I have a client now who's a trustee, a seller who's a trustee. He has no financial interest. He solely is, representing the estate. He's the trustee for the estate. So we did have his property come back on the market last week. And it's time where, you have to ask your sellers, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Have you considered this? Have you considered that? The times have passed where if, they can think about, just out of principle, I'm not going to renegotiate X, Y, or Z. Well, that's silly. If you have a bird in hand and you have a known outcome right now, even if it's a less than ideal scenario, stick with the known outcome. Why would you want to go back on the market, in a time like this? Granted, there's a really captive audience out there, but you're still as the seller putting yourself out to sea again, and you're just hoping that you'll get equal to, if not a better scenario than you just walked away from. It's
Good point.
time to negotiate. It's time to be
Communication.
reasonable.
Yeah.
If somebody's concerned about, something as simple as, well, I think the carpet's too close to the wood stove, or, silly things that are legitimate, but typically deals wouldn't fall apart over. Emotions are really high on both sides right now. So we
Good
have
point.
This is,
a course that just carries them through and lays out all the potential scenarios for them and let them make the decision. But do all you can to keep deals together, even if it means a negotiation if you don't want to do.
Their emotions are high for realtors too, and we have to keep our emotions in check.
Yeah.
Hey, Melissa, your point you had with Lisa about the property that's not on the staging. This is one for you, Alicia. Remember we talked a while back, and I think one of the masterminds, about having this board so that we know what's coming on the market. Has that
Yes.
ever evolved into anything, and does that exist?
The board of what's coming onto the market as far as
Everything. So we know within our office, or maybe within all of Al's offices, what's available out there, what's coming on.
Yeah,
Like a
so
coming soon, a virtual board or a hard board?
Yeah. No,
Yes.
anyway, it's electronic, so we have access. We know. I mean, we do it at team meetings. We do it kind of ad hoc, but do it more officially so that we all know what's going on.
yeah, and
I-
signed up listings or buyers who are or have contracts with you, and we can have a whole virtual
Yeah.
board you can punch into. It would be amazing.
Yep. So Alicia, if we talk, maybe just to give that, because that would be helpful in a time like this. I got one last quick one. This is an offer. I have with this whole issue of the contamination, disinfecting. You can do all the wipes, we do all of that, but in special cases, and I have offered it to someone close, I have access to a hospital grade UVC disinfectant robot that will completely disinfect a house, an entire house, in 4 to 6 hours.
Wow.
So if anybody gets to the point, it's my son. My son owns it. He's in the medical distribution business. He does it for hospitals.
Wow.
and he does it for lot places. He's starting to move over to residential. So I'll just plug for him. Hasn't priced it or anything, but if someone has the fear or any way, it's a solution. Come in there and in 4 to 6 hours, you can, and this is a high-end piece. It's a $100,000 piece of equipment. To do it.
Can I just
Now, listen, guys, we got like 3 minutes left. Alicia?
Sorry, I just want to jump in about you had mentioned the place where we can virtually share any listings that are coming to the market, so everybody's in the loop. So we are talking about that, and I know the ALC and I are going to talk about a few other ideas tomorrow that have been presented to us. But for the time being, I really strongly recommend using the Market Center 735 Facebook group. That is a great place to be sharing all of your listings that are coming available, as well as where your buyers are at as far as what they need. Because just here on this call, I've heard a couple of times it come up, oh, well, you might not even need to do that. I might have a buyer for you. Okay, I didn't know you had that listing. So that's conversation, and sharing that information on our Market Center page is going to be really beneficial, especially right now where we're not in the office and bumping into one another and having those conversations in person. Use that as a resource. People are on there, they're looking, they're reading, they're looking for people to share information. And if you have success with that, they're going to see it and more people are going to engage. So I strongly recommend using that for the time being.
Right. Okay. That's great. Thanks. Thanks for that. A question for Rick and Lisa. If we text you when this session's over, would you be willing to share your outline with us? I mean, I made a lot of notes, but Rick, you had mentioned, you put together your outline of, 3 minutes of Facebook Live open houses and for the open house, during the open house, after the open house. Would you send that to us if we ask you for it?
So just if you want to see a copy of my outline to this call, just email randl@kw.com,
Okay.
and I will respond with the outline.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
Awesome. This was great. You guys did awesome. I'm so glad to hear that things went well this weekend. I was thinking about everybody all weekend, so I was really looking forward to hearing the successes. Again, I strongly recommend sharing that information on the group page.
Yeah, I will.
Too. Share what your successes were and what your learnings were. People are looking, they want to see it. So,
Well, and there are a few things everybody needs to, remember. You have to take control. There's always hope. You can be a victim or a master of your life. It's your choice. So you can either have excuses instead of making the adjustments that will make your life more amazing. You have to push through. You have to just, everybody has it within them. It's just your choice, whether you want to, step out of the box a little bit. And remember also that, what our buyers and sellers are feeling is fear. And we have to bring them back to a little bit of logic. So we, having conversations to bring that, finding what is their fear. Are they afraid of losing money? Are they afraid of, the germs? What is the real fear that they have? And try to understand what it is that they're fearful of. Don't just assume what it is. It might be that they want more money and they're afraid to sell now. And we need to remind them that we don't have a crystal ball, but if we can look in the history of what happened before, when might be a good time to be on the market, in 2008 in the beginning or the end. So we just need to fill people in and try to keep them on a little bit of logic and keep our fears in check and just power for it. Fill yourself up, keep your cup full, wake up, do some affirmations, listen to motivational stuff. I mean, I was like dancing in the kitchen this morning. I'm like,
I have to live with her.
Yeah. All my kids are like, no. But I like, the coffee's on, the motivational stuff's going. I'm ready for the day. And just fill your schedule, fill your cup, whatever it takes.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Have an
that
awesome day.
motivation.
Thank you, guys. The time's up. Have an amazing day. And I hope to see you all on trivia night.
Or scripts on Wednesday.
Let's go on Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
great job.
Everybody, be well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Here.